We're going to do, I guess you can call it a step reface. They got quite the height here to really think about, and it's a railing. We're going to do aircraft wire right around, which is going to be so cool. We got all the posts and everything ready at the shop. The beautiful part about this is just right across, literally across the road or across the bay at the shop. So it's nice to not have to go this time of the year, go trudging down the highway. And so I'm going to take these steps off. I got new ones coming. All here, we're going to put new wood. We got 1/4 inch veneer that will go over this. And it'll also go right around. And we have all the molding. So, all right, here I go. Just, getting the crowbar, and I'm not really sure how it's put together, the staircase at this point. So, just trying to be gentle and, take one step at a time, not try to destroy it. Sometimes when you go into a job and you're not ready for something, and it's kind of like, just put you in that mood, eh? And I wasn't ready to start building the staircase. But you can see it didn't take me too long to rip this, maybe 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to go as high as I can, and then I'm going to get 2x4s and start framing up. The reason why you got to put the 2x4s in between the other is quite simple. You're having all this section here, and so basically what's holding this section? What, a little bit of 2x4 here? What is a 2x4 held to? There's no, they're held on top of the framing. You're really trusting it. And having a step, which is only 3/4, you could have a lot of flex there. So definitely we're going to build this up. And let's see how we make out. It's like 20-1. And let's see how we are in a couple of hours. I know I was bitching at the beginning, but it's just one of those things, you're not ready for it. Let's see what happens. All right, now I know what's underneath. I'm a little more aggressive and, taking it up. I'll only go to the height where I could reach, maybe about 5 steps. All right, so I'm halfway up now. I've done the tear. It's taken me about a healthy hour. I'm trying to be careful, not trying to rip things out. But when I talk about stairs and safety, if you come around here, now, this was really the only structure that was holding the stairs. But this piece is only about that deep. And it's only a little piece of pine. And then over the years, the pine's going to dry out. And it could easily, like if you go here, the grain's this way. It can easily split here like nothing or let go. And then that's basically your last line of defense for the stairs. Because after that, this is what's holding the stairs. A piece of cardboard and a little block on top with a couple of brads in here. All right? Now, when I talk, like this piece popped out. That was a last line of stairs. When I talk about stairs, and I talk about carpenters, and I talk about cabinet makers and 2 different approaches, is that a lot of times they're trying to get out of here. They've overcharged, whatever, or undercharged, whatever the case might be, they want to get their next job, and then they're going to start cutting corners. And you might say, well, Kevin, I didn't know. But who would know on these stairs? And then the big problem, here's the big #1 problem. You're going to put a post up here. This isn't rocket science. I don't have to go to an engineer or get some chart. So I'm putting a post up here. Then I'm going to move like this. That's like a crowbar. That's the exact same thing if I put this in there. Now that's going to move. So you're telling me that that's going to stop that from moving. So then your handrail becomes loose, and other parts of the stairs came loose. All this, we could have breathed and knocked it down. All right? And yes, a cabinet shop will be a little more money, but I'll come in here with all these factory spray and everything else, not doing anything on site. And I'll make damn sure on this that when my post goes in here, it's going to be like rock, because I got an oversized handrail. I'm going to put my one post here, my other post up there. I'm going to have structure, and I hope I don't get a nightmare up there when I go along, because I got my piece to go up there. Hopefully, at least, you know, we don't have this nonsense here. So I can't stress enough the safety or whatever of stairs. Like seriously, they thought like this was going to hold. This is what would happen, you know, as it goes, as it moves. That's it. There's your staircase, you know. And I mean, people want to talk code. I mean, what the this code to me is just common sense. Do it double what you think, double, and you won't go wrong. And this, we go through this all the time. It's not like the first time. We come into these houses 10, 15 years old, and I mean, they're unbelievable. You know, like they came in this house, actually, the other owners came to me, wanted a staircase, and I said it would start at $15,000, because it was big up there. They nearly freaked out. They nearly like ran out of the shop. But I'm taking this apart, and here I am now. So they paid X amount of dollars, plus this new owners are going to pay me. So tell me if you're ahead. So I went to the shop. I cut up what 2x4s I had. Like I said, I wasn't ready for this today. That's 5 2x4s, 8 feet. So I'm going to go like this. I like going a little oversized. I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to go here. Now, I walked away from it, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do, right? Like they had. Now I got structure. I got it from here to here. All right. Now I can make a decision here. I got this for the front, for my plywood right here. I'll slip that in, and I'll glue that. Now I got structure. Right. Now I got to make another decision. All right. They got these silly spacers here. All right there. Some of them ripped off. Some of them didn't. They were holding it on. It looked like that's how they held the screws for the floor. They went up underneath. And take a look right there. You can see the screws come up, and that's the only thing really that was holding the steps. I don't know the life of me why they didn't use go like this, use a full piece of plywood. You know, it'd have a much better surface to glue, because at the end of the day, the steps were only being held here, and then they had a little piece in the middle on cardboard. I'll call it particle board cardboard. All right, that's basically it. Like, you can't use it for construction. I mean, so you can see there's a little bit of a big difference here when we start doing this. So more than likely, I'm gonna have to put the plywood here, put my frame here, and I'll cut some more plywood for my face. I didn't really big enough. You know, the thing is with this material now, it's going to eat into a lot. It's, you know, but I can't pretend I didn't see it. Like, even if I left it like this, I couldn't. I have maple stairs, and in my opinion, they're better than the oak stairs. You can debate that below, but maple is stronger and heavier. And I wouldn't dare put it on this surface like that and have a gap from there to there, you know? I mean, that's just plain silly. Now, when I do this, when I got this, so picture this, I get this screwed in here, right? So we get a couple screws, Alright. This is supposed to be a quick video on capping it. Looks like it's going to be a little more than that. Alright. Now, I got there. Even when I did that, and I went down below, there I could feel there's a little crack in the wood. The wood's dry. It's so brittle, this cutout. It's not even funny. So now I'm going to sneak another one here. Right. Go back a bit. No, I don't have a jig for this or to sell somebody a jig. No. I'm just going to go like that. But when I do it, I'm going to toe it here because what's going to happen is that's just going to push it down. I'll always use screws. I'll never use nails for this. No way. So now I got it there. Then I'm going to go on top. Now look out, eh? So what I'm going to do with the plywood is now this is going to act as a bridge. This will lock in the 1x3, we'll PL it. And now I got something really nice to glue my steps in. And when my post goes here, I'm gonna on this one, I'm gonna go, like I brought some extra there, like I had a leftover piece. I'm gonna sneak a little extra here, an extra piece, just to make sure, you know, when my post goes on that there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That ought to do it. The only mistake I did, I'm gonna have to add another, I don't know, did I do a mistake or not? See, this is lemon. I think on this one, right, I'm feeling it. I'm gonna add a second 2x4. That way, when my post goes here, my plywood on top, I'm not gonna have any issues. You know, there's nobody gonna be calling me for anything loose, all right? So what do you think? We go here? Keep that kind of straight. And then there we go. Now I really, that's why I like to when I cut, I like to cut just a touch over 1/16 or an 1/8 so I can kind of dial it in. Because what I'm not happy about is, you can see here, this part cracked. So now, when I glue this on, and I'll glue it on, now there's no danger whatsoever of anything going there. I'll put a little strip in the back after to give me a little piece. I'm going to continue like that. And I'm going to be burning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll be burning lots of 2x4s. And even like when I go on with just this, you know, there's no way, man. So, a big difference. All right. So we're back the next day. Maybe I calmed down a bit. I was just more frustrated on other things, you know, trying to be in the business, and there doesn't seem to be a level playing field. And I don't mean everybody's crooks, but come around here and see. Why I was just really so pissed off. So we got a little piece of pine there that's put in here on top of this. They glued it on. You can see the glue. They used wood glue. I don't know why they used wood glue on end grain, you know. And they put a little piece of wood here for the particle board to hold that. But the big thing here is they just sneaked a couple of drywall screws to try to keep the step down. But the big problem is there's just no support here whatsoever. You know, basically the only thing that's maybe keeping this in line is the strapping right here. This 3/4 piece of strapping is basically kind of keeping it. Mind you, this part's sitting on the wall, and so there could be some debates here about leaving it like that. But my only beef is this one cracked off, this corner, and this corner cracked off, moving it, and I think over time it was already giving out. It was already wavy and everything else. So now I've put 2 2x4s right up at the front. I'm not so much worried about the back. The weights, this is what I'm worried about here, you know. On the third one at the bottom, I'll slip a third one. I'll have great structure. Then we'll come along after I clean it up a bit. So this will be our facing. I'll PL this in. When I say PL, that's blue. And I can, but Google it, PL. And there's different types of PL too, so be careful. And I'll explain that when I install. So this will go like this, and now I'll make a sandwich. Now when I make the sandwich here, I'll have it all glued. So my maple steps come on. I got all this to glue. I'm just going to glue them and walk away. And now I got structure. And then even if this cracked again or this left again, it's got the strength at the back. It's locked in there. It's locked in the front. So there's no danger of these coming really loose over time. And you know, each one's a little different, but I know by code they should have had a middle stringer through the middle here, but they didn't bother. And at the bottom, they just had the stringer sitting here. Like, it's not locked in. They didn't give it the time of day. They got a piece of particle board here that doesn't even meet. I don't know what the purpose of that is. So, there you go. So if I put my 5-inch post here, I mean, it would have been so weak. So that's it. So now I'm going here, taking off the glue. What makes it hard to get up the step, it's not really like this little bit holding it. It's right here. In the particle board, they got all these little nails, I don't know, like every couple of inches. It's really nonsense. But I'm not replacing the stringers, you know, or getting involved in that, so I'm able to rebuild it. That's one good thing. All right. So now I'm working on the skirt. I have the plywood all glued up. I did double layer there in front, 2 layers to really get a lot of support. And now I'm working on skirt. I just do a template, and I'm just, you know, scoring it there, basically doing it by hand there. You know, I'll take a little off here, a little off there. And I do have a little forgiveness because I do have an 1.5 inch step butting into it. So I don't have to be too exact, but it's important. Do the skirt first and then slide the step in, not the other way around. You're in for a nightmare. So I just made my little scribe there and digging in, just being very patient, you know. You know, the only thing I would wish, maybe just a little better jigsaw, a little stiffer blade, but the old jigsaw is still hanging tough. And here I go. If you see the top, the way it's going to look finished, going to go on top straight across and drop down on 90. I think that's a really different kind of look. So now I'm squaring off the bottom, back down, cut, back down. And you can see, well, after a few hours, well, I shouldn't say a few hours, it took about almost all day. Now I'm gluing on the skirt. I'm using lots of wood glue. I'm not going to use PL on that because the wood glue will just give a better bond. There's a reason why, and I'll explain. There, with the 1/4 inch, I have a lot of flex. I can push it in easily. But on the steps, you could be a little off or whatever, and I don't want to start screwing. And I can't screw from underneath, which too bad because I got drywall underneath. So I'm using my best friend, PL. And I slide it in a bit, push it down. I'm not going to put pins here because the finish I'm very proud of. And here I am screwing the blocks in, and we'll describe that later. Alright, these are the ends that I cut off my posts. And you can see here, now I want to install these. I'm going up on my first one on the step. I want to keep equal view on both sides here. So, and if you don't have an adjustable, buy one. This is by far the biggest tool I have. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to go, I better come up to the front a bit. I'm going to go about a healthy inch right about here. And I'm up here on my post. It's about 1.25 inches, and I'm coming up here. Alright. Now these little blocks go right in here. And whatever happens now, I screw that in and I go all the way up. I go up pretty high. And I've done this for years, and what happens is I laugh at it because it's fucking stupid strong. Like when I PL each one and I screw that in, it goes up. So now I have all that glue surface. I have it right here on the post. When I won't get that high. And I like to use the plywood as opposed to, let's say, we're going to use, 2x4 or whatever. This is kind of soft. The plywood's a little more dense, I find, when you glue that much together. You got nice sharp edges. I could use Baltic birch, it'd be a little more dense, but this is going to be fine. So, let's see how I make out. So, near the top now, that's about as high as I'm going to go. You can see that's pretty decent. So every so often, pop a couple screws in. First time I went this way, now I'm going to go this way, so there's no chance of hitting. And you make this smaller by a healthy 1/4 inch minimum. Because if you go exact, you drift a little. It's hard not to, eh? It's because you slip on the PL slip sometimes. You can see it just oozing out, eh? Woo. Now that's a sandwich. Now I can put my post right over. And I'm going to pick the side I think looks the best. It's right here. I enjoyed this side. Let's see. There we go. Now I got it. Alright, so all our supports are put in. So I'm just dry fitting it now. And what I've done, just make sure you get this level. Like I'm pretty good right there. And I'm good on this side. So I have it. I had to put a very little of a shim here. There's just ever a little weave. I'll deal with that gap after. So now I have that. Now today, I love my glue. I'm not going to put any metal fasteners in here. I don't need it. And then that's the beauty of the way we're doing it. So I'm using, I don't want to like promote PL, but they hands down they have the most product. I'm using the Max only on the bottom part. And the reason for that is I don't trust the PL on the clear coat. And I want a little bit on the bottom so I'll have a nice section. So, look at that, eh? How tall is that? So I'm a touch over 6 inches by 3 inches. And you can see, like having the plywood laminated, screws, 4-inch screws there, all the way up, up, up. Now, this is as solid as the steps. And you can see I can't move it. When this post gets glued here, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. The nice thing about this system is it's hard to get metal fasteners and things like that and up underneath and get it down. And the other thing, I've seen it, metal fasteners, and I've seen all kinds of systems throughout the years. A lot of times they just come loose. This wood's going to shrink and it's going to lose its grip on the metal fasteners, on the threads. You might say, well, no, I put a bolt like this in and I twist it and I go around. It's going to come loose. Just trust me. This, guaranteed, no. The only thing that would ever come loose is if I did a bad job on the stairs, but I don't think so. So, now the trick is how much glue do you add? Because it's a little smaller, but it felt pretty tight in there. So I'm just going to go here. You know, I don't want to make a mess, eh? All right, I'm going right around, you know, get my corners. And see, some of the posts are a little more loose with it. And like I said, I'm not being cheap. If it oozes out, I gotta clean it. I'm kind of just eyeballing, guesstimating this one. And the full strength with all this won't be about till a month later, you know. By the time this stuff really cures, you know. Okay. I don't know why I buy the cheap guns. I saw one today and I saw it for $15 versus $30. Which one did I pick? 15. I don't know. It's one of those things you get stupid cheap. All right, now I got my Max. Now I'm going to go here, right at the bottom, here. All right. I'm a nice little bead here for the bottom. But I'm staying back. I don't want to let the mess here, right? And I'm going to go there. All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna go up, then I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna smear the glue around a little bit, and I'll be able to tell if I put enough or too much. One or two. Now, we're oozing out a little on the right side. Oh man, we oozed out, I went too happy there. And we oozed out on both sides. So, I'm going to say this out loud. I put too much. But, I'll go on the next one. I'll go a little less. and I'll be a little careful, you know. Now you gotta be careful with this stuff, right? It's gonna go up underneath. We got solid make. Boom, finished. I'll go down here. I'll do the angle, and I'll come flush with this step right here. And I'll cover all this in with 1/4 inch. We had to make more 1/4 inch because we weren't planning on putting it on this side. Now this side will be the same. And you can see that looks really nicely finished, eh? All right, so handrail day today. We'll put the handrails in between. And I'll show you right here the handrails. Live from the east side of the coast. But here we go. We got the railing in, and I agonized and whatever. Maybe you get a little more personal because you made it. And I'm going to be honest. You know, you always get stressed out. How's the look? How's the pieces going to go together? You made it too big, too small. We made this a little heftier. I couldn't put a handrail on the side because the insurance company ever found out they would crucify me. But it looks really, really good. So the important thing is, see what I did? I just took some 2x4s, just put some paper on both sides. I jacked it here, and I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have any more 2x4s, so I had to improvise. I know it looks Mickey Mouse, but sometimes you're on these job sites, and I didn't do it. What's the important thing is this. Get yourself an adjustable, buy one, buy 2, 3, 4. Before you buy a Craig set, buy this. Now I'm right there perfect, and I'm right here perfect. Here I had to add a little shim just to give it. Now to screw it in, I got 2 choices. See, with the darker wood, you can get away with a little more, right? You know? And I gotta use screws though for these. So, if I go up underneath, the only thing is I could slip my position. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here. I got these particle board screws with really good threads. I'm going to wood. I'm gonna go in on an angle here and here on both sides. I'll gently torque it in so it doesn't move, you know? I'm kind of eyeballing it here. I got a little bit of width here with the handle, and I'll do the same over here, all right? So I'm gonna try and I'm gonna go, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go get myself set up, and then I'll just plug here. Like sometimes use dowels or whatever, but there's this wood putty that I can get. It almost has fiber in it. It's just a hell of a lot easier than working with a dowel on a finished product. And then I could just touch it up. There'll be a round hole there. That's part of the course. And don't forget, by the time I've got all the wire here, you know, right now it's still a little springy on top. That's only because the glue hasn't dried. If you look here, like this blob that was there the other day, it's still soft. You might say, well, Kevin, that takes a long time. Yeah, that's going to take 30 days to really get cured. But I got little moldings to go on here. I'll see how it is. I always say I give myself an out. And I can just start popping screws in all 4 corners to keep it down. The railings I get tight here, so this, when I'm finished, this will be tight. The only weird thing was this. You know, it is what it is, eh? And that's only because of when they did the hip here, what they should have done, I mean, they should have had an extra 4 feet on top of that, because and then you would have had more usable space up here, because this is a nice little room that you can make up here.
You should have added an extra 4 feet so you can walk in there without bending your head. That last space there from the post is useless. Now here I go installing the handrail. I'm pre-drilling. I'm just holding it on an angle going in. You know, I go straight at first, and I turn it on an angle. Sometimes when you hold it on the angle and try to go in, you'll slip. But if I go straight, I know I won't slip. I don't want to mess this up because all this stuff is finished. And if I get it on both sides there, I can pull in left and right and kind of keep it centered there. I'm only really eyeballing the center. I know it's going to slide a little bit. And the jig, 101%. do it so keep it straight. What looks good is visually right across from the top of the post that it looks straight. It might not be 100% straight if you put a level on there. I'm also at the mercy of the loft up there. It wasn't too bad. One part of the corner really came down, but the rest isn't too bad. It's a little wonky on the left there. And all right, now I'm countersinking the screws, and now I'm just torquing them in very lightly. I won't do it at first or both sides at the same time because you'll pull it one side or you could twist it. Now here I am for the molding at the bottom. I decided that the way I'm going to finish it is I got a little wider molding at the bottom, and I cut that same molding in half. It really looked finished with the overhang we have. We have an almost a 2-inch overhang. I thought it was a nice look, kept it slick, and it tied in nice with the steps because we got the same look on the steps as we do on that overhang. I was a little apprehensive. I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I'm very happy the way it turned out. It really tied in nicely. So back out. Next time I got a vacuum going on that saw. I'm never ever walking in and out of a house like that again. It was brutal. Like there I'm relatively close, but when I started going up the stairs and stuff, man, it took forever making all those cuts because, like I said, I even told people that have worked with me, I don't care if you make 5 cuts sometimes to get it, but don't try and do it the first time. Like right there, I'm just playing with the angle because I think it was 22.5, but one was, sometimes you got to do 20 degrees, and you're just nibbling it there. Because then on the outside, I got a straight 90 degree, so that one's easy to cut. I can do that one all day long, but that inside, those inside cuts sometimes can be brutal because sometimes you got a little hump with drywall or whatever. So, take your time and get those cuts sharp. I didn't have to put any putty in there. I try not to. I always take a little bit of pride there. And of course, no more nails. I glue everything in. I don't trust those brads. Those brads are only a little piece of wire. They're not going to hold in the long term. And this way, I'm guaranteed. Plus, it takes care of any slightly gaps, and I really get a nice, seamless fit. No lines there. You can see a little bit oozing out, and you just take a little damp rag with water. It's very easy to clean that up. I would never use PL there. I'd be too hard. And you can see here, I'm filling the gap. Like the thing is, with no more nails, it dries clear, but you can also put a little bit of stain on it. So I try to do it as I go along because sometimes at the end you don't realize how much wood you install, and it can be frustrating. Now, I'm cutting under the stairs. It's raining cats and dogs outside, so I got my little handsaw. Yeah, I'm using the handsaw. And I got to cut one at a time for those little pieces there. I wouldn't have done the 45s with the handsaw, but I'll do those little straight pieces there. So I go along. They're all slightly different, And now I got to make a little notch there, and I just kind of eyeball it there, make a little pencil mark. So I can go around there because I want to flush with the skirt in front to cover the edge. And that piece is thinner than the top pieces, so it looks pretty finished. I didn't dare try to wrap the other piece around. I've seen other stairs go up and follow the steps all the way up. It looks nice, but in my case, I wanted the molding look to match the top of the other molding look I did, so it carries all the way down. Leave some comments what you think. Do you think I was right to finish that, or should I have done a solid wood and sanded it? I don't think so. I'd still be there. Okay, so we're installing the aircraft wire. It was a little trickier than what I thought. What I was doing before, I was putting it there and crimping it up here, and I had a hydraulic. But it was pretty fragile, and I was bending them slightly,
And I don't think I was giving the right pressure on it. So I go here on my bench. I don't know if it matters where you start. And kind of go here. I'm keeping it a little up from the bottom. All right, here I go. I'll go there. Squeeze. All right. This is, I think, important and it makes sense. So you squeeze that way. So now put this part flat, level. All right. Do it the opposite way. Does it make sense? Now you're squeezing the wire one way. Now you're squeezing the wire the other way so it won't come undone. You may say, well, this won't come undone. That looks like a pretty good crimp. I'm going to show you something. I was so frustrated with this thing last night. I walk out of here. Alright, so I got that one that way. Alright, now make sure you're in the hole. There we go. Make sure this is tight. I can't imagine doing this with the hand crimps without the hydraulic. And then, there we go. So I'm going to let it go. So now I got to crimp one way, and I got to crimp the other way. And even when I was so careful, look how easy it is to bend up, eh? I'm not crazy about this. I picked this system because it was cleaner. There were other ones, I mean, you had to put bolts through it, everything else. And I'm going into maple. And the reason why you don't do it up there, you don't get the crimp. I found out the hard way. Like these things can slip, eh? You know, when you're pushed down. So make sure one way, the opposite way. And also you got a left and a right. So and then left, we got to mark with tape all our posts. We got a lot to do here, right? It takes about a half hour to do 3. Yeah. This is not fast. I thought I could pull this off in one day, but no way. We gotta finish. They got the carpenters coming in to put some doors in and things, so they're gonna have first priority, and then we're gonna come back and do our touch-ups. I'll talk to them on the scheduling. I wanted to do the touch-ups today. That was my plan, but it's Friday. And so basically that's it. What I can't do is mix this up. This is my right, and then that's my left. My left will be my last one. So that's really what's important. So the only drag is, see where the handle is? I would rather have had the handle this way so I could see the die, but I guess powers that be don't operate a tool too much. Because you gotta make sure you're in the middle of that die. The other thing I'll tell you to save you a world of hurt, this one had a die marked 1/8, which means 1/8 crimp for a wire, which a wire is 1/8, and the bracket here is about a healthy 3/16. I'd say 1/4 inch. I don't know where they do the measurements, but a lot of the measurements are way off. So that crimp was way beyond, but guess what? That crimp didn't hold it. Now I'm just using leverage here. If you can't do it the way I did the other way, you can go like this and put the whole weight down on it. You know, but either way, definitely it's a workout. I'm gonna go try one more. All right. So are we doing a stopwatch, anybody?
This is what I hate about YouTube videos. They do 7 minutes of guys are going. They're not telling people to do it. Give yourself for this. I got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 openings. Give yourself a couple days with this job. You know, there's no way around it. Just gonna go there a bit. A little tricky with the hydraulic when you let it go. So now I'm going to go the opposite way. And then I'm going in the middle here. You got to put 2 of them. Don't think you're going to get away with 1. Alright. I know it's a pain in the ass, but I don't want to call back. I don't know what I'm going to do with the couple I banked up. If I'm going to replace them. They don't look bad from up here, you know. I'm going to finish this job and then. Thought I had it, I slipped. See what I mean? How finicky this thing is? So you gotta make sure you die. Like I went the next size smaller on the die chart. Ditch the 8th, go smaller. You buy these at Amazon, they're a kit, they're not very expensive. It's not like I do a lot of this, so if I was doing this all the time, I might do it. Let's see, what do you think? If I go this way, I couldn't do any more that way. What do you think? I can go one more? Yeah. Well, now open it up. Now, I know this is my left. So, I also kept it stupid. I had this one almost done. I cut the wires beforehand. I cut them all, so. Now, if I'm left, now I gotta go right, clockwise. Yeah, counterclockwise to tighten it. Even there I got mixed up. So, yeah, make sure you have lots of patience for this one. Now the other one's the opposite way, so I guess the wire, if you went the same way, we just twist. And then you just kind of go there, now go to the right. I got this one pretty good. Now I got to go to the opposite. And you go, I'm going about 4 turns. Okay, counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Only because I want to catch up with the other one. Okay, let's go 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'll go back here. Counterclockwise, the opposite way of the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I got this going pretty good, eh? I might have cut the wire a little too short. Let's find out, eh? But let's see what I can do here. Okay, I'm gonna go over here, get a couple more. I got this really tight right now. And I'm gonna go counterclockwise. I'm gonna go one more little bit. I'm gonna leave that little thread open. I got 3 threads there, and I got 3 threads there. Let's see. You can hear it now, right? Alright. So I'm about as tight as you want to go.
Okay, here it is, Sunday afternoon. I'm cleaning everything up. I've finished it. As I say, it goes squirrely at the end. It's a lot of patience, and then that's a big thing. I did all the touch-ups, but what I will say is look at our other video, home header, the home theater header, and I show in detail how I did touch-ups. I used no more nails and everything else. I came on Sunday, day after. It took me about a good 7 hours to run through and do all the touch-ups, near the handrail, everything else. How well do you think I did? Or is it good, or am I not good? That's the question. Okay, let's go take a look. Now you can see all that was exposed white. We stained it all. We had the stain, so we went through. And we went through all the little gaps in there. I took my time on the outside miters. I really got that sharp. That's not full of putty. One little white spot up there, I'm gonna go grab the ladder. And that's it, we're cleaning up. And we're getting the hell out of here. One thing that I said about the construction is, I'm gonna come up here. We're gonna go take a look. Now, I'm gonna go and point. Now, that's me banging it, right? But you can see, like pulling here, it has no strength. What's happening now, it's been about 21 days since we put the posts in, maybe 14. All that PL, because it was so thick, the air conditioner starting to harden. Plus, we got tension here. So now we got it's stupid strong. I got 4 inches from here, remember that. More there. Let's don't get into that. So anybody wants to say I broke code, go for it. Here's another spot right here. Now here's the main post. All right,
here we are, the last day, and everything's in. We're cleaning up. We swept. We got rid of all our sawdust. They got more work being done in the house, so the cardboard stays. We got the handrail on the right. Like I try to put a lot of effort into safety, and I think stairs are overlooked. In our area, anyways, they don't put a lot of effort into stairs too much, but a staircase should last the life of a house, at least 100 years. Shouldn't be replacing it like this was replaced less than 15 years later. All right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I can use all the support I can get. Hopefully this will help somebody with some ideas. Also, homeowners, this will give you the idea for complexity of staircases. Don't underestimate it, and get what you want, because it can be a great feature. Look at this. Now, if they have the rest of their unit and rest of the woodwork looking the same, I think it's a unique house. And remember, cabinet makers rock. So hire a cabinet maker.